Welcome to another episode of Learn from People Who Lived It.
Well, hi there. It's Matthew Blade, speaker, leadership coach, and former broadcaster. And this is the show that's all about when life becomes our teacher. Every episode, we sit down with people who didn't just study it, read it, or preach it. They lived it. And that couldn't be more true for our guests that we bring back every Monday here on our show. Say hi to Dr. Anna Marie, coming to us from California. Good morning.
Good morning.
So today we're going to be talking about finding friends over 40. How did you know that I needed to talk about this today?
I feel like there's so many of us that need to talk about it, and we're not. Because when I work with high performers, women and men, there's this little ache of loneliness. And one of the things that comes up is friendships. And the fact that we've sat here and built businesses and built our careers, raised families, and then we kind of look up and are like, all right, my bank account looks pretty good. My kids are healthy. They're moving on. Where'd everybody go?
Yeah. Yeah, this is really interesting to me because in fact, I talk about this often with my circle of people around me. Is that, when we grow up, we all have like our friends. They're usually our built-in, like our school friends, and then for some people, they go to college and they make like another group of friends. I didn't do that. I went straight into my radio and television career, and so I developed a group of friends that were all in broadcasting. But the interesting thing about that was all those people are in different cities all over the world in America. And so I never really had anybody that lived in my city who I was like, that's my closest friend. That's the person I hang out with the most. And then a year and a half ago, when my best friend lost his battle to cancer and passed away, I really found myself in a space of like, who do I call now? Who do I talk to now about certain things? And so this is a fascinating topic to me of finding friends over 40 because it just feels like it's different. I don't know why it feels harder. And I'm like somebody who's willing to put myself out there, but give me your thoughts and feelings on finding friends over 40. What have you been thinking about?
Well, I think it's a realization that, the friendships or the people that we've been around mostly is due to proximity. Taking the kids to sporting events, maybe neighbors, you both have kids. There's these common grounds where you create these friendships, and some of these friendships are for periods of time, and people come in and out of our lives. And I think the challenging part becomes, after 40 is we're a little bit more awake of like, what do I really want in the second half of my life? And I know for me personally, I'm looking for depth versus, quality over quantity. I no longer want to have surface level conversations. I'm not a big gossip person, and I'm not into any of that. And so I think it's realizing like what we really want in a friendship and who we want to spend our time with. And we're more selective at this age. Then you pair on top of that, the shifts hormonally that we're going through, psychologically that we're going through. And so it's definitely for me, friendships need to have depth. You need to be able to pick up wherever we left off. Something's bothering you, just let me know. Like I don't have time to hold on to stuff. So I think that, it's just different from when you're in your 20s and 30s, and you're kind of figuring out who you are. And so once you know who you are, you definitely know what you don't want and know what you do want. And so that kind of, there's not as much playing field.
Yeah, I wonder for the folks that are watching us right now, have any of you found new friends over 40? And I feel like we've tried. And what's interesting, and I wonder if you pick up on this too, but look, people are busy. Like people got lives and they're doing things. And sometimes I'll find somebody and I'm like, oh, that seems like a pretty good match. Like I could be friends with that person. And then you find out like, man, they don't really like to talk on the phone, or they don't really like to, do X, Y, or Z. And you're like, all right, I guess that's not going to work out. And for me, I think you nailed it. It's like, first up, probably figure out, what are you looking for? What kind of friend do you want? Because I'm like you, and while you were describing yourself, I was like, why aren't we closer friends, Anna? Because I don't want surface conversations. I want to talk about the real things. I want to get into the weeds. I'm not interested in the sun and the weather and all the gossip. That does not interest me. And I'm looking for an anchored connection as well. But I'll tell you the other thing I'm looking for, and then I want you to tell me how you feel about this. I'm also looking for people that hold me accountable. One of the best things in the entire world about my best friend Kwok, who passed away, was he never let me off the hook. And I really genuinely miss that. I miss calling him and saying, hey man, here's what's going on in my life, and him just checking me right away and being like, bro, that's 100% your fault. Like, you're the one making that happen. And I just miss that so much in my life. Is accountability something you look for in a friend?
I think accountability, I just think it's honesty.
Yeah.
And having that, it's that depth that you get to create first, because when you have that depth, you get to show up and you get to be honest in a way that they're not taking it personally. Like, I can't believe
yes.
And there,
right.
So there takes some work to get to that level. Half the time, the stuff that I say with clients that I coach, the only reason I can call them out, in a loving way, is because we have that depth, because they literally pay me to have deep conversations with them. And yes, they pay me to hold them accountable, but there's this level of trust and intimacy that comes. And I can't do that in the first session with a client. We build depth over time. And so then it's like, I can say different things that, most people are, maybe not most people, but a lot of people are probably thinking, but nobody's telling them that thing. Because I work with a lot of people that everybody says yes to them. You're so great. Yes. These are like the high performers, the people that are in charge. No one wants to ruffle their feathers or hurt their feelings. And I'm not trying to hurt their feelings, but it's also that, hey, we get to check ourselves before we wreck ourselves. And that's where a good, deep friendship comes in, where we can be brutally honest, call each other out, but in a way that's like, God, I love you. Like, thank you for saying that to me. Like, I needed that. Like, I don't want to hear that, but I needed that. And I'm also looking for the friendships of, I can just show up in my pajamas. I can share with you what I'm going through, and you're not trying to tell me what to do. You're not trying to, give me the advice or, make things better. You're like, a good friend sometimes is like, dude, that sucks. I'm here for you. So that I think is important in a friendship. Also, a good friendship too isn't like, there's no trauma dumping also in a friendship. And what I mean by that is, a good friendship, we can always walk away with more energy in the conversation than what we came in with. Right. So like, if you're leaving conversations feeling drained, feeling like you disappointed them, feeling like, oh, I said the wrong thing, like, those aren't friendships. Those are acquaintances. So if we want to get into that deep friendship, some signs for me that I'm realizing is I'm walking away with energy. They can call me out on my stuff and just kind of push things back to me, just so they get me thinking, right? For the depth of my life, the quality of my life. They remind me of things that I say that I want, right? That accountability piece. And hey, what's up with that? Like, I thought you were going to do that thing. And then if you say, well, no, or whatever, then you're like, all right, are you sure? Then if you're going to let it go, like, okay, but I just wanted to, you said you wanted that thing, but they're also not going to judge me for doing whatever I want to do. So I think that, it can be harder as we get older because one, we all have our own baggage, we all have our own stuff, and it does take time and it takes consistency to build a friendship. So it's not a one and done thing. And, you know, it's a marathon, it's not a sprint. And so when we're sitting here and we're feeling lonely and we're like, man, I spent the last 20 years raising my family, building my career. I let my connections kind of go to the wayside. Someone hacked my Facebook account. So even friends I had a long time ago, I couldn't randomly reach out to them because I don't even know how to connect with them. You know,
Oh man.
it's just interesting. It's just interesting. And I am the type of person that will randomly reach out to someone and because they pop in my mind and I'll just be like, hey, I'm thinking of you. And sometimes it's met back with like, hey, thanks, or how are you? And sometimes it's like not even met back. And I'm kind of like, dang, like that sucks, you know? So there's that piece too, the rejection piece as we get older. And we definitely try to avoid rejection.
Do you still have friendships from your childhood?
Not really. And I don't know, like my siblings would be like the closest, you know, but yeah, not really. I don't really have friends from high school. I've tried to stay in touch with some, but it just hasn't happened. I have a really good friend from college. I have a lot of acquaintances from college that I sometimes feel like, oh, I'll reach out to them. And I've reached out to a few of them. And it's just great to kind of get a pulse on where they're at and just let them know I'm thinking of them. I do think there's something to be said about people that knew us back when. It's comforting. I actually had a call with my sister the other day and I said, okay, we need to agree that every 3 months we're going to see each other. She lives in Michigan. I live in California. And then she was like, oh, you know, like she has 3 kids, I have 2, and they're in sports and there's all these things happening. And she was like, yeah, but I if I came out there, I was telling my friend I really want to come out there, but I could only come out for like, you know, 4 days, 5 days, or I don't know. And I'm like, that's what we need to stop. We like our brains, like, I don't know why this is just a me thing, but with my sister and I, it's like, if we can't come out for a full 7-day week or 10-day and like hang out, then we don't schedule it. I'm like, I would rather see you for 2 days every 3 months than
Yes.
only see you once a year. Right. So I have to get over that whole thing of like, oh, if it doesn't look a certain way, then I can't do it. And that's part of my own fixed mindset. It's like, okay, I can jump on we were talking about actually going to Phoenix. We can both jump on in a plane, go directly to Phoenix, drive up to Sedona, have a couple days there and drive back, and then fly back. So again, as we get into the second half of our life, we get to create our reality however we want, but we have to start doing it differently because we didn't get to this point, you know, with feeling like we don't have many friends and being lonely from keeping friendships. We dropped the ball on that one. So we have to show up and do things a little bit differently.
It's interesting what you said a second ago about like if I can't have it all, I don't want any of it. And I've been feeling that sentiment lately in youth sports. I've been watching this phenomenon take place where if kids can't be the best team in the league, they have no interest in being the mediocre team. Like they're just, nah, we're going to suck this year, so we're not even going to try. We're not even going to show up for practice. Like we're not going to try hard at games. If we can't be a 10, we don't want to be a 7. And it's really fascinating that you mention that because I'm seeing it in a lot of different places. It's not just in friendships, right? It seems like other people, if I can't have all of it, I want none of it. And that'd be a really good thing for us to kick around, you know, on a podcast. It's like, how do I get over that mindset of I need it all, or like, it's okay, I could just have some of it. Like I either want a whole piece of cake or it's like, well, I'll just have a couple of bites. I don't want that. Come on. You still get to eat cake.
Right. Yeah. I think it's kind of like part entitlement, part we don't want to be disappointed, part we have this story in our mind of how things are quote unquote supposed to be, supposed to look like.
Right.
I mean, none of us would ever get married if that was the case. If someone had to be our all and everything, like, come on.
Right.
And I think people try to make people into that. That's why things don't
Yeah.
work. It's like, listen, I know my husband has his flaws and I get to accept those fully and freely. And however I choose to process those is on me. It's not on him. That's who he was. That's who he's always been. Right. I
Yeah.
cannot change him. I shouldn't want to change him. And vice versa, So it is interesting that it's like this all or nothing mentality. And I see it too in sports a lot for sure. It's like, oh, your kid can only play one sport now, and then they have to be like the best, and they have to make these videos, and then they have to play club, and it's like, seriously, what, like, all our eggs in one basket? Like that's
Fight
what
it.
we're doing. I know.
Fight it.
And it is challenging. I mean, I think I was reading something the other day about some high schoolers not even playing for their team, their high school team. They're only playing for the club because
We have that here.
there's so many things like politics and, you don't want to get injured. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I guess with the whole NCAA and how everything shifted in 2021, I mean, I was a D1 athlete as well. But back when I was an athlete, we had to clock so many hours for study hall. You couldn't work so many hours. You couldn't make certain money. You couldn't have people couldn't even give you anything. It could be considered, or a prize. Like you couldn't do any of that when you were a college athlete, just over 5 years ago. And now college athletes are being paid, and
I know.
and I'm not against any of this, by the way. I'm just saying the time has changed. So now, 4-year universities are literally, I look at that as semi-pro. Junior colleges
For
are
sure.
now universities. High school is now a junior college. And we're starting these kids younger and younger and younger. And then if we go to, okay, friendships, you can make a lot of really great friendships through sports. But then also there's so much we miss. I mean, I know how much I missed, and I was a 4-sport athlete in high school, but like dances, going on vacations, doing things. So there does become, this aspect of we can't have it all at the same time. And, there's this give and take, and we get to figure out like, okay, what am I willing to, deal with, sacrifice, whatever, and what am I not, right? Like that's where you have your boundaries and friendships and all the things that you're doing.
Have you ever heard of the acronym HALT? Have you ever heard that in your studies? on the way up?
Yes.
Okay. So I love that, and that really was something that somebody told me about 5 years ago. And for those of you who are watching right now, this is how we're going to wrap up today: is this idea of HALT, because it's a good concept to go through. And the whole idea is it's an acronym, and every letter in the word stands for something. Wait for it. That is your responsibility to fix. It is not your partner's responsibility, your friend's responsibility, your mom, your dad, your brothers, your sisters. Like, it's literally on you. And so if I get this wrong, you can correct me, Dr. Anna Marie, but the H is for hunger. Hunger is your responsibility to fix. The A is for anger. Anger is your responsibility to fix. The L is kind of where we've been today, which is loneliness. And loneliness is our responsibility to fix. The T is for tired. And what was the S for? The S is for...
I don't even remember, but I know HALT. Like I remember the acronym, but I couldn't.
Maybe it's just HALT.
I think it's just HALT.
Yeah. It might be HALT, but then somebody put an S on it and they added one more to it. But at any rate, you're right.
Safety?
We could stop at HALT. Well, safety, sex, I don't know, one of the two. So that L in the middle. So loneliness is our responsibility. So as we wrap up today, I think, Doc, you give us the challenge. You give us the challenge on how we can attack loneliness. Or maybe it's like how you're attacking loneliness.
Well, I'm doing that thing that's been like tapping on my shoulder to reach out to people, create more trips with my sister. Like, it's like, you keep, come on. And I just kind of like, oh, I'm busy. So I think that allowing yourself to do the thing that's been tapping on your shoulder and you've just been putting it off is a really good thing to start with, and to start reaching out as well and just checking in with people, see how they're doing, and not expecting anything in return. It can be disappointing when you reach out and you're kind of met with nothing, but everybody's in their own season for different reasons and going through what they're going through. But then also one of the things is I'm starting to try new things. So I'm starting to play pickleball, and I want to join some type of pickleball group or something. I'm looking into it, but I think that we get to do something new, but be consistent showing up, because that's how you build friendships. And so
Yes.
like my husband's like, you need to get more hobbies besides just working. And I'm like, but I love what I do, like everything. He's like, no, you need more hobbies. And I used to be a runner, and I used to have a run group and go run with them. And I don't do that anymore. And so, I'm looking into like, okay, what other activities can I do outside of work that I can show up to consistently? They bring me joy, they're fun, and then I'll be meeting new people and having consistent interactions with them. And just see
Yeah,
where it
we
goes.
have these really cool things at our church called life groups, and we sign up for them. And this is the first year that I've ever done something like this. I've been out of the church for a long time, but I'm back in it, and I'm hosting a life group. And so actually, starting next Sunday, I've got 8 people coming to my house
course
every
you are.
Sunday for 6 weeks. And I'm gonna lead the life group because
I love it.
I need this. I know. So if you're ever in
Okay.
town, you're welcome.
I'll tell you something super embarrassing. Okay, so I went to a new church yesterday. I'm like, I hop around to churches. Let's just put it
Okay.
that way. Okay. I like to go show up. I like to just, I don't know. It's fun for me. I've been to Mormon church, Catholic church, Christian church. I just show up
Whatever.
at all of them, right? It's all good. So anyways, and I keep hearing, these small groups, like join a small group, join a small group. And I was talking to my friend yesterday as we were walking out of church, and I'm like, this is my problem. I want to host a small group in front of our biocharger here at the center. I want to do it at like 8 a.m. after we drop off kids at school for like an hour or so and then go on our day. But I don't want to plan any of it. So I'm like, I want to have the group. I want to have it here. I want it at 8 a.m. But you know what? I don't really want to plan any of it. She's like, girl, seriously? And I'm like, I know. So I need to call in somebody who is like, I love that you want it on this day and that we can have it at your facility, and I'll plan the things. Cause right, like there's certain people that love the planning, that will show up and they'll lead the Bible study and all the things. That's not me. So
Yeah.
I'm getting there. I'm recognizing what I want. I'm recognizing what I don't want. And I'm recognizing also I probably need to compromise a little bit here, and join a group, whether it's here or not. So anyways,
They made it really easy on our end. I mean, all I had to do was say, I'm willing to, and then they aggregate the people who are going to join the life group. And so every time you meet new people coming into the life group. So I had a bit of what you're talking about. I don't know that I would have done it if I had to organize and choreograph the whole thing. That sounds like zero fun, as a matter of fact. Yeah. Okay. So our call to action today, we're going to listen to the little tap on our shoulder. We're going to reach out to the person that maybe God, the universe, has been telling you to reach out to. And then is there anything else that we need to do? Do we just need to, I think that's a good starting point.
I think that's a great starting point, and start showing up doing something new, right? Like when we're lonely, we cannot keep doing the same routine day in and day out. We got to spice it up. We got to change it up. So whether it's pickleball, whether it's a small group, we need to do something different and do it consistently.
Love it. Dr. Anna Marie Frank has a book out. It's called Stop Bullying Yourself. It's fantastic. I'd encourage everybody to pick it up. We've got a link to her in our show notes. Don't forget, tomorrow, the one and only Courtney McDermott is back for one great teaching. We're calling it Tuesdays with Coco. And last couple of weeks, she's been laying down these incredible guided meditations at the end that people have really been a big fan of. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who was watching the show, and she goes, I got to Target and she just started the meditation, so I had to sit in the parking lot for 10 minutes to finish the meditation before I went into Target. And I was like, yes, that's amazing.
Good for them. That's great. They took the time to do that. We can sometimes rush through things and think we're too busy, but that's when we need it the most.
I tell everybody, car meditations are my favorite meditations on planet Earth. I get to everything I do 15, 20 minutes early, and I just sit in my car and I have a quick sit and I get myself ready for what's next. And it's been a game changer for me. So steal that tip, anybody who wants it.
Love it.
All right, Doc, I'll let you get back to your day. Thank you so much for being a part of our YouTube series. Don't forget to like and subscribe on this channel so that you don't miss a future video. And I guess I'll see you next Monday, huh?
All right. See you next Monday.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.